Fellas, family. So we have a very, very special guest today. Somebody that has inspired not only millions of people in his hometown, his home country, but people internationally. For myself, it's a true honor to present with you, Jose Calderón. Jose, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
So, on this podcast, we want to have true warriors, true believers that those that speak a different language can connect through other languages. So, I want to tell the story about Jose when he was 4 or 5 years old. What was Jose doing? Was he thinking about basketball in any way, or how did he get to it?
No, not really. I mean, it's true. Like at home, the basketball was even in Spain, as you guys know, football is number one sport. In my house, because of my dad, it was the basketball. So that's how I grew up. So I remember 4 or 5 years old, not really thinking about being a professional basketball player or anything like that. It was about just having fun with my friends, and basketball was part of my day because I enjoy dribbling that ball since my early age. So yeah, that's how I started, and that's what Jose was doing at 4, 5, 6 years old. Yeah.
He was dribbling the ball. It came through the family. That's how we learned. But when was it for you that you decided to make basketball your life? Because your story, we're going to go through it, but it has impacted not only the basketball for Europe, Spain, but for the entire world. So when was that moment that you said, "I'm good enough. I can play in the NBA or anywhere"?
Yeah, I think that didn't happen until I was like 17, probably, when I signed my first professional contract. But it's true that I left my house at 13 to play in Baskonia in the north of Spain. So they signed me when I was 13. That was my first contract. It was my parents the one who had to sign me. I cannot sign a contract at 13. But I went there. I played for 4 years, and after that is when I have to realize like, okay, it was my first professional. I play in the second division to get minutes and stuff like that. So they loaned me to Alicante at that time. But that was the moment I have to make a decision because I couldn't go to a school at that time. I was a professional. I was getting paid for real in a sense. So yes, that's when I thought, okay, look, I always can get back to a school if this doesn't work out, but it is my moment to go ahead and push for this professional career. And yeah, it was yes, we play a lot of basketball after that day. Yeah.
A lot of it, a lot of it. I want to know if there were any naysayers. That's the word that people use in the US. But for us that come from Spanish-speaking countries, haters, aquellos que no nos quieren ver, que no nos quieren ver lograr lo que queremos hacer. Has there been people in your pathway that did not believe you would make it to where you made it?
I think, look, the only thing about the sports, there is no, how you say this, there is no shortcuts. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you, in this case, if you are a Latino or coming from Africa that doesn't matter. You got to prove it on the court. And there is not, or you're good or you're out. There is no haters or not haters. I think there's in this life there's always going to be people that like you, and there are going to be people that cannot see you at all. And I think that the sooner you learn that, the better you're going to be in a professional sport. But in my case, when I arrived, maybe I was lucky to get to Toronto. It was a really multicultural city. Instead of arrived directly to US, so it helped me a lot. They really embraced, myself with no English at all, probably. Um, and I think maybe that make things easier because they understood, like, I have to somehow communicate with them, and I was trying as hard as I could. But I think because it's like you go out there, you show up, you play good, you're good. They respect you. If you don't, they know, and it doesn't matter where you're from. You can be a US born and you out if you're not good enough. So that's the only thing. And I always say that the sport is one of the most inclusive sectors we have in our lives and our society these days, because it's just about the sport. It doesn't matter, like, you just play, and if you do the right things, you're gonna have a chance. And we have to learn a lot from sport too, because now that I'm, kind of like away from the locker room, I learned so many things because of that. I live with people from every country, every culture, everything different in politically. The politics are different, and we make it work, and we connect, and we work together. And so why we cannot do that, outside of the locker room?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, sports is a little bit different, but yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so I never have that kind of a feeling, but I don't know. You never know.
You never know. You never know. I want to ask you because I believe it was 2003, if I'm correct, 2003 when you made it to the league, was it?
Oh five, oh five.
Oh five. So oh five. And how was it different from any other court that you stepped on before? Because you make it to the league, you come over and play, and the vibes, the showtime that the NBA brings is very different. How was it for you?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy even to make the decision to actually come to the NBA. I think everybody will think like, well, NBA called, you just go. But I was already professional. I was making a good amount of money. I was one of the youngest stars, and I was coming up. I was with the national team already. So it wasn't as easy because you arrive into a place like, yes, it's the NBA, it's a dream, but there is always doubt. Like, I'm good enough to play against the guys that I've been watching on TV. Like, you really think that this, in that case, like the Kobe Bryants or Shaquille O'Neal or Allen Iverson or all the young guys that came later, or LeBron James, that like are gonna be able to play against them. So, but I took the decision. Same thing I was saying a couple of questions earlier about there is always time to get back if I need to get back to school. That was kind of like my mentality. Is like I gotta take this opportunity. It's an experience. If I can make it perfect, if not, there is always I'm always gonna have time to get back to to Europe and keep playing basketball. So, but I have to try. I have to prove myself. I gotta see how far I can get. So yeah, I mean, it was impressive at the beginning. The first games in every city, going to the Garden, going to the Staples Center at that time in the Lakers or Boston, or so you always, even if you are a pro and you're like just playing and thinking and focus on basketball, at this, behind your mind, there is the wow, I'm here playing against the Boston Celtics now, or against the Lakers or the Cleveland Cavaliers or whatever it was. So it was impressive that first year as a rookie, but great. I mean, it wasn't a great experience where I really learned a lot in 1 year. It's almost like in 1 year it looked like I played there in the NBA for so long because so many things happened and we weren't really good that year. So it's even more of a learning a curve there for sure.
In this learning curve, was there anybody specific that really helped you as a teammate? Probably an international player, probably a US player, but was there somebody that kind of took you under his wing and helped you out develop in this way?
I think that first year it was one American player. His name was Derek Martin. He was a vet. He arrived to Toronto. He came and said, "Look, I'm going to be the third point guard. I'm not here to take your minutes. I'm here to mentor you, to help you." So that was the first thing that he said to me. So we created a really good relationship. And for sure, after Charlie Villanueva was with me. So he came from college. He's in Dominican, so he could really help me. He spoke Spanish, so helped me a lot when I needed something. So there is always, it was the team and the organization, the Raptors were great with me. They helped me a lot, and it just took me a while until I was comfortable in English more than anything because that was the key. To be able to play my position without learning, knowing English, it was kind of hard, but it was good. I think everybody was able to help. I think it was a good thing that the way I play basketball too. I think my teammates realized that okay, this guy passed the ball, so I think he's okay to play. He's not here to take our shots, so I think that helped me to maybe adjust faster. But it was a good first year for sure.
I can't believe you said he plays okay. We've seen you play. Look, for me, just growing up, it was watching you and aspiring to be at some time somebody close to you, somebody that loves basketball, that loves to transcend through basketball. So I wouldn't say you're okay. I would say you're great because not only what you do on court, but what you do off court, which we will get to in a minute. But I wanted to talk about your pathway through the NBA. has marked not only records in free throws, not only assists, not only in the teammates that you built, the teams that you built, but also it inspired teams to dream to be bigger. So when you were playing for Spain, Spain played so well. You not only played in World Cups, Olympics, everything. You represented your country. How was it for you representing Spain in the NBA and also representing the NBA in Spain? How was that?
I think it was great. I think for me to play with the national team probably is the most important accomplish, or I don't know how we'll say that, because it's a little bit different. When you put your team, that red, no, your country jersey, and you actually play. It's almost like change your mentality that you represented yourself, yes, your team, but it's your country. So there is so many people that you're just not trying to play good basketball. There is more behind that, no. So for me to represent Spain and be a world champion or European champion, or the Olympic medals and everything, I think they were amazing. It was amazing because of what it meant for basketball in Spain and for the Spain, any for sports in Spain. So I think that's what we created. It was an amazing generation. I was able to play with the best of the best. We were together for so long, and that's the kind of like the rare thing on national teams, because usually 2 3 years in and out, you're good, you're bad, and we were able to be really consistent for almost like 20 years. It was 4 Olympics, and we got 3 medals, and it was amazing. So yes, I mean it was big. It was big to represent Spain for sure in NBA, and actually those medals, those championships, they helped me as well to gain my respect on the NBA as a Spanish basketball player. I think they respect us a lot. I think they really knew and they really learned too. If you ask them how we play as a team, I think US really look at us as okay, the team to how we gotta beat these guys or how we gotta play together. Not beat because they are the best team for sure, but in a sense of like what a team, what it means to be a team and represent your country. And we put at least we give them a good fight a few times.
I don't want to be biased. I'm not. I'm. You probably know what game I'm talking about, but there are certain moments in your career that have been literally game changers, like eye openers. Was there a game? Was there a moment, probably on court, off court, that for you was an eye opener? Like you need to let this sink in. The greatness of the moment that you're living. Was there a specific moment?
I think there is a lot of those, Charlie, because really, I mean, if you think about it, when you play that many games, there is games are more of massive. There is some important games, there is other that they're not that important, but there is always something special about so many games. When you play in the Olympics, it's really important the final for sure. You're playing for gold, but it's really important your first Olympic game. Doesn't matter in a group phase, you're already representing. But same thing with a World Cup or when you win and you play that final. My debut in the NBA, so there is so many of these special moments that there is just like you put all the work, you sacrifice so many things. That sometimes from the outside it doesn't feel that way for fans, like how hard it is to get there because there's so many people who they start playing basketball when they're 5 6 years old, and there is so many that cannot get to that point. So just being part of that is amazing. So that's why it's really difficult to just choose 1 or 2 moments. It's like for me, every season was something special about it. There is a chance to do something great. Um, Knowing new teammates, traveling the world. That's what basketball gave me, and that's why I'm so happy. Like, yes, all the wins or losses are there, and you can have more or less medals or points or whatever. But for me, the experience of being able like to live playing basketball, that was the thing that I liked the most. So I wasn't doing my hobby, if I can say that, and I was able to get amazing experiences and getting friends and traveling all around the world just because of that. So that's the biggest part for me of all of this.
I want to share something very special that happened this morning, actually. I'm here in Manchester and I'm with a group of top 60 prospects, both men and women, in basketball from the entire region, all of Europe. And there's a couple of players that I think they're probably eight kids from Spain. And I wanted to ask them. I was like, I was very hyped about interviewing you today. And I told them, who do you think is the number one player all time from Spain. 6 out of 8 said you. 6 out of 8.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. I thought they're gonna see Pau Gasol right away, but
the other two mentioned Pau Gasol. It's incredible what you've done throughout this pathway, that you've inspired the next generation. So my question to you now is, did you take any other player from Spain under your wing when you were going probably in your end transition in the NBA? Was there a player that you brought in and you wanted to mentor like they mentored you?
yeah, I think we always help each other a lot. I've got a great relationship. I think that's the good thing about basketball. I think basketball in Spain is almost like a community. I think it doesn't matter where you play or how many times you play against or whatever. I think anybody's feel like you can ask any question. Like, what do you need? I'm here to help. But I got a great relationship with Ricky Rubio or Sergio Rodriguez, and because they're younger than me. And after now, like with Hernan Gomez or Santi Aldama that we have now in the league. So there is always guys that we talk to each other what they need. Or I can send a text if I see something that I like or I don't, and I'm like, look, guys, you gotta. So I feel that confidence that everybody respect each other, and we know it's from the heart, like from it coming from in a good way. So I'm always willing to help anybody. It doesn't matter, even if they're not from Spain. I'm actually pretty open to help anybody in that case because I like that. I know how hard it is. I know how many highs and lows they go through when you're a young guy getting into the league or starting your career or something. That yeah, I'm open to tell them the truth too. Like this is just the beginning, and there is so many moments that you will question what's next and is this worth the work or not, and how to get there, and what are the priorities that you got to put at yourself as a person, and there is so many little things that goes well with that for sure.
So I only have time for two more questions. I want to go on for 4 hours, 5 hours, but we will do that probably in another event. But two more questions. So for me, really understanding what you're doing now, not only as a consultant, but really as a person identifying causes that you can help. I've read that that's very important for you. What is life after the basketball career? What is this next mission, this objective that you have that you want to accomplish?
I think it's really like what you say. I think just because of basketball, sometimes for me, that's the excuse to engage with the younger generations, or just creating sports, and that's why my foundation is so focused on that. But there is always a social message into it. If we want to change all the mistakes that we made as a society, doesn't matter where we're from, there is problems everywhere. It's not going to change from we're not going to be the ones changing it. There is no these big change or these mistakes that we made are not going to happen in the next 2 3 years. There is something that we have to educate our younger generation. They are the ones that we have to let them know what not to do. This is what we did, and if you don't want to follow our path, you got to start now. So that's why I'm really focused on that, just trying to focus on what I can say, and how I can make them or realize that they got to be able to be good persons, respect everybody, keep learning, be better every day. That's what I tell them all the time. Just try to be a little bit better every day. And they always go to like, oh yeah, I'm a little bit better drilling with my left or shooting. That's great. But I told them, but now you got to figure out a way of that's the only on the basketball side, but you got to be a better son or better daughter. You got to be a better sister or brother. You got to be better in school. So every day, that's the way I still live. I always try to be better every day. I learn from everybody. So that's kind of like the message, the social side of things. There is always, if we do a camp or we do a 3-on-3 tournaments or whatever, there is a how we can help. What does that mean? Like how maybe the registration is donating some food for people that they are in need, or there is. So we're always trying to create an environment where everybody feel comfortable, included, and that way we can grow as a group, as a society, much better than what we did.
I love that, man. All right. Final question. I know time's coming up, but I want to know. After all the medals, after all the great moments, making big teams around the world shake because they were nervous to play against you guys, every big time moment, this entire career of over 20 years playing, if you went back and saw yourself to that first time you were signing that contract with your family that you couldn't sign yourself, what advice would you give yourself in this moment right now? If you saw yourself, you were about to sign, your parents were about to sign, what advice, what piece of advice would you give them?
I'll say believe in yourself. I will say that. Keep having fun. I think basketball is about having fun. I told them the kids do, and but we gotta understand what having fun means. Having fun doesn't mean we're joking around on the court. I was having fun working so hard, uh, doing lines because we weren't focused and the coach make us run lines. That's having fun too because I wanted to be better. So I will tell him that, like, hey, I know it's gonna be some tough moments during your career, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and it's going through that and keep working hard and believing. And like I said from the beginning, the good thing about the sport is if someone is better than you, there is no shortcut. It's because he worked harder or he got some skills that you cannot develop or whatever. So there is no why he's better. No, like there is two options: keep working and get better, or you just congratulate the other guy because there is nothing. You know what it takes to get there. So yeah, I mean that's something like that. I would say, I guess.
I love it, man. This has been eye-opening for me. It's getting to know you in a different way than just seeing you on TV and balling out. So I appreciate your time, and we hope to have you soon, very, 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 very soon, back with us and just talking about your life, man.
Anytime. Thank you very much for having me, and yes, we'll talk soon for sure.